What is up, folks, and welcome to another Zip Hearing video. Today is not going to be a review video, but rather a discussion video. We are going to do a little comparison between receiver in canal hearing aids and in the ear hearing aids. We're going to talk about pros, we're going to talk about cons, we're going to talk about differences and similarities, so I'm pretty excited to jump into this. Before we get too far, the days of these long intros are done. If you want to hear about my story, go ahead, click there. This will also fill you in on the type of hearing loss I have, the level of hearing loss, and my experience with my personal hearing aids and the hearing aids that I've reviewed so far. Second thing, if you want to learn more about Zip Hearing, if you want to go research some hearing aids, look at some pricing, please feel free to click right there. And here we go. We are diving in headfirst. Top of the list. What are we talking about? What is an RIC or a receiver in canal hearing aid? What's an in-ear hearing aid? Here we go. This is kind of what we're talking about when we say receiver in canal hearing aid. And this is what we're talking about when we say in the ear hearing aid. The receiver in canal hearing aid is made up of two distinctive parts, one being the piece that sits behind your ear and the other being the piece that sits in your canal. The in the ear style hearing aid has everything in one piece. So this entire little package goes boop right in your canal. So let's talk about the pros of in the ear hearing aids. First, they are the most discreet fit possible. There is not going to be a wire hanging in front of your ear. And depending on the size and shape of the in-the-ear device, it is either going to sit very deep into your ear canal, or it will take up most of your ear canal and kind of just sit at the entrance of the ear canal. The second pro is dependent on the style of in-the-ear hearing aid you're looking into. There is going to be a distinct lack of the occlusion effect depending on the hearing aid you have. Generally, the deeper the hearing aid sits in the ear canal, the less occlusion effect you will have. If it happens to be a larger in-the-ear device, kind of like this, you may feel that feeling of occlusion because of the size. Additionally, there is going to be a lack of wind noise with the in-the-ear hearing aids. And the reason this happens is because these microphones on the hearing aid are actually sitting deeper in the ear and are covered by the biological formation of your ear. So the wind has no opportunity to breeze over the microphone and make that wind noise. Also, while we are talking about noise, the in-the-ear hearing aids are less likely to have feedback because of the proximity and the lack of space between your eardrum and the end of the device. Generally, the more open space that a device has, the more opportunity for feedback to arise. Typically speaking, these in-the-ear devices tend to have less technology in them in terms of connectivity. So if that is something you are not interested in dealing with, like you don't want to have to connect it to your phone, you don't want to have to stream music, you don't want to have to bother with all this extra stuff, you just want to hear what you want to hear, then that is a perk. That is a pro. Sometimes some people do not like the feeling of a device behind their ear. Maybe it interferes with their glasses or their hats, or they don't like the feeling of having something stuck behind their ear. So the in-the-ear device is going to be a thumbs up for those people. Now, does this lack of connectivity and technology apply to all in-the-ear devices? No. It does not. For example, the full-shell Starkey Genesis does have Bluetooth connectivity. And to round out our list of pros, the in-the-ear hearing aid models tend to have more variety in terms of how you charge them and what kind of batteries you use. So if you are a firm believer in the use of batteries and hearing aids, you are going to have more options with these in-the-ear devices, as the receiver and canal devices tend to shift more towards rechargeability rather than battery usage. Now, there cannot be pros without cons, so let's talk about some of the downfalls of these in-the-ear hearing aids. So because of their small size, there's not a lot of stuff that can be put inside of them. And one of those things that goes inside of these hearing aids is going to be the source of power. With rechargeable devices, it's going to be the internal battery. And with devices that take replaceable batteries, it's going to be the size of the cell. And because of the small size of the in-the-ear models, they tend to use a small battery, which leads to the battery needing to be replaced more often than a receiver and canal device. Adding to the complications that come with the smaller size of the device, we do have to talk about the ability to handle said devices. If you do not have the best usage of your hands, maybe you have some dexterity issues, these can be a little difficult to manage. Getting a hold of this pull tab and putting it in and out of your ear could prove to be an issue. Whereas on these guys, you kind of just wrap it around your ear, you take this part that goes inside your canal, either the dome or the mold, and you just squeeze it in there. We're sticking with the size, right? So one more issue regarding the size is that there are limited features due to the size of the device. In order to make these hearing aids as small and as invisible as possible, the manufacturer can only leave room for the essential features. As a result, in most of these hearing aids that go inside your ear canal, you're not going to find features like Bluetooth or rechargeability or the state-of-the-art sort of noise reduction, or even with the new models, artificial intelligence. Changing gears a little bit, let's talk about some cons that come with these devices sitting deep in your ear canal. The ear can be a very difficult environment for technology. It's oily, it's warm, it's waxy. All of these factors can cause these electronic devices to break down over time. In purchasing these in-the-ear hearing aids, you will have to expect that your maintenance will be a little bit more involved than a receiver and canal. And finally, because all of these essential features are packed into such a small package, these hearing aids are typically not as powerful as receiver and canal devices. Which means that if you have a severe or profound hearing loss, the in-the-ear, in-the-canal devices may not be the right choice for you. With this list of pros and cons now mostly completed, I do want to talk to you about one more thing: discretion. I currently have both styles of hearing aids in my ear. This one is a receiver and canal, and this one is an in-the-ear. From a forward point of view, you cannot really see either one. Even from the side, I'm gonna spin my head, even from the side, it's very difficult to see either device. This is the receiver in canal with the device behind the ear. And this is the in-the-ear device. Both devices are going to be very discreet, regardless of which one you prefer. It's just that the receiver in-canal device has a small wire that hangs over the front of the earlobe, and the in-the-ear device has no wires that come out of the ear. As with all hearing aids, ultimately the decision is yours to make. What sort of things do you value most in your hearing aid? Is it the ability to go unnoticed? Is it the level of technology and connectivity? Do you want artificial intelligence in your device? Do you want noise reduction? Is it the feeling, right? Do you want something sitting in your ear, possibly leading to the feeling of occlusion? Or do you want something that sits behind the ear and leaves your canal kind of free to have room for activities? If you would like to explore more of the hearing aid options that we have talked about today, please feel free to click onto ziphearing.com and check out these models. We have a great breakdown of pros and cons for in-ear devices, pros and cons for receiver and canal devices, and you will have the ability to compare and contrast all of the models that are available through Zip Hearing. Thank you so much for watching this video and for hanging out with me today. Again, as usual, please subscribe. If you feel like you want to share something or you want to ask a question, comment down below. And finally, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, please thumbs up, like this video, and we can continue to do more of these. Thank you so much. I have been Nick. You have been great. See you later.